Right now, millions of people are living in cities where the math no longer works. Not in the future, right now. Cities where water use is rising, while supply is either flat or declining. And in some of these places, the system hasn't failed yet, but it's already breaking. Stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll see exactly which cities are running out of water, what's causing it in each case, and why this isn't a drought problem. It's a system problem. This is Tomorrow Explained. I'm Dennis Lisak. Let's break it down. Let's start with one of the fastest growing cities in America, Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix added more than 70,000 people last year alone, but its groundwater is being depleted at roughly 3 times the rate it's being replenished. 3 to 1, and that's not drought, that's structural collapse. In fact, parts of Arizona have already halted new housing development because they can't guarantee 100 years of water supply. The city is still growing. But the water system isn't. Now go west. Los Angeles, California. LA doesn't just rely on local water. It imports water from the Colorado River, Northern California, and Eastern Sierra snowpack. But here's the problem. The Colorado River is shrinking. Snowpack is becoming unreliable. And on top of that, LA loses enough water to leaky infrastructure every year to supply millions of people. This isn't just scarcity, it's loss plus dependency plus aging systems. Now let's go global. Mexico City, one of the most extreme examples in the world. The city is built on an ancient lake bed and it's sinking. Why? Because it has pumped so much groundwater that the ground beneath it is collapsing. Some areas are sinking over 20 inches per year. At the same time, over 40% of the city's water is lost to leaks. So even when water exists, it never reaches people. Now, here's where it gets counterintuitive. Not all water crises happen in dry places. Take Jakarta, Indonesia. It gets heavy rainfall, but it's still running out of usable water. Why? Because groundwater is over-extracted. Salt water is moving inland, and the city is sinking. Parts of Jakarta are already below sea level. The government is now planning to move the capital entirely. Now back to the U.S. Las Vegas, Nevada. Las Vegas is actually one of the most water-efficient cities in the world. It recycles nearly all indoor water, but it depends almost entirely on Lake Mead. And Lake Mead has dropped more than 150 feet since 2000. If levels fall too low, the system hits dead pool, where water can no longer flow downstream. Efficiency can slow the problem, but it can't replace the source. Next, Cape Town, South Africa. In 2018, the city came within 90 days of running out of water entirely. They called it Day Zero. Residents were limited to 13 gallons per day. Compare that to the U.S. average of over 80 gallons per day. Cape Town avoided total collapse, but only through extreme rationing, and that model may become more common. Finally, there's Bangalore, India, one of the fastest growing tech hubs in the world, but nearly half of its population relies on groundwater, and much of that groundwater is already depleted. In some areas, wells have dropped from 200 feet to over 1,000 feet deep. At some point, you don't drill deeper, you run out. So what do all these cities have in common? Different climates, different economies, different systems, but the same underlying pattern. Demand is rising, supply is constrained, infrastructure is aging, and the system can't scale, and water doesn't disappear, it just moves somewhere you can't use it. That's the real problem. And when these systems start to fail, they don't collapse overnight. They tighten, restrictions become permanent. Growth slows, costs rise, and eventually people stop moving there. So here's the question. Do you think cities will adapt, or are some of them already past the point where the system works? Let me know in the comments, because if there's one thing this shows, it's that modern cities aren't just built on land. They're built on systems. And those systems only work until they don't.